Hey everyone, welcome back to SwitchTop. The RPG lineup for Nintendo Switch and Switch 2 is looking absolutely incredible right now. We've got remasters of beloved classics, brand new adventures, and some massive titles that we never thought we'd see on a Nintendo console. Today, I'm counting down the top 15 most anticipated RPGs that have us hyped. Let's get into it. Tales of Berseria Remastered. The remaster preserves the soul of the original, while giving it a smoother, more polished feel, thanks to upgraded visuals, sharper textures, and better performance across exploration and combat. Its release date is officially set for February 27, 2026, marking the return of one of the darker entries in the Tales series. The game follows Velvet, a protagonist shaped by loss and anger, and it builds its narrative around her emotional journey rather than classic hero tropes, which gives the adventure a more personal and mature tone. Exploration now feels more fluid, thanks to quality-of-life improvements like destination icons and optional random encounters, making progression easier without reducing challenge. The battle system keeps its action RPG roots intact with fast combos, special arts, and responsive movement that still reward timing and strategy. All previous DLC content is expected to be included, opening access to bonus outfits and items from the start. For longtime fans, it feels like a respectful update, and for newcomers, it could be a perfect entry point into the series. On Switch, the portability might enhance the experience even more. Playing long story arcs or grinding sessions on the go fits well with the game's structure.
No matter how hard I try.
My name is Velvet Crow, and I will devour demon, Moloch, and exorcist alike. I am a monster! I am a Therian! The Hortorius!
Very well.
The Legend of Heroes Trails Beyond the Horizon is carrying the legacy of the Calvard arc forward, with a story that blends political tension, personal journeys, and a world preparing for a monumental step towards space exploration. Coming on January 15, 2026, it brings together three major protagonists whose paths collide across a nation on the brink of change. Van Arkride, a Spriggan operating on the fringes of society. Rien Schwarzer, a familiar face for longtime players of the series. And Kevin Graham, whose ties to the Septian Church bring mystery and moral weight to the unfolding conflicts. Their narratives intertwine as factions maneuver behind the scenes, setting the stage for conspiracies that challenge both ideals and loyalties. In terms of gameplay, it retains the core turn-based structure of the Trails series, but evolves it with modern systems like shard commands, awakening, and a strategic ZOC mechanic that adds depth during both field encounters and tactical battles. Exploration appears varied, featuring towns, dungeons, and areas like Grimgarten that test party composition and character synergy.
Take this! You're a worthless piece of human waste! Payback time!
So this is how you aim to kill a god.
Alright, don't drop your guard, guys.
Pokémon Pokopia is shaping up to be a refreshing twist on the series, steering away from the typical trainer journey and focusing on rebuilding life in a forgotten land. Set to release on March 5, 2026 for Nintendo Switch 2, the game puts you in the role of a Ditto that has taken human form, waking up in a lonely, abandoned region once shared by humans and Pokémon. Instead of catching and battling, your goal is to restore harmony by building habitats, attracting Pokémon back, and gradually transforming the world from barren to thriving. You'll gather resources across varied biomes, craft furniture, terraform environments, and customize the land to suit different Pokémon species. Befriending them unlocks special abilities, some practical, like clearing obstacles or boosting vegetation, giving a sense of growth that feels personal and tied to your actions, rather than traditional leveling. The building system blends cozy life sim mechanics with light exploration, offering freedom to design settlements that evolve over time. A day-night cycle and progression-based expansion suggest a pacing that rewards patience and creativity rather than rushing. There's a calmer tone to the atmosphere, more about coexistence than competition, which could resonate strongly with players looking for something new within the Pokémon universe.
Till fields, grow vegetables, and more. Expanding the places you can visit and what you can achieve. For example, you can transform into Lapras. While Ditto might not start out as the best.
Fallout 4 Anniversary Edition brings one of the most iconic open-world RPGs back into the spotlight, offering a full and definitive package for players preparing to dive into the wasteland once more. Set to launch on November 10th, 2025, with a Nintendo Switch 2 version expected in 2026. This edition revives the journey of the sole survivor, who awakens from cryogenic sleep to find a world devastated by nuclear war. The narrative focuses on survival, loss, and rebuilding, but the most engaging element is how every decision you make shapes the fate of the Commonwealth. The open world remains vast and unpredictable. Ruined cities, toxic zones, faction-driven conflicts, and mutated creatures all provide a steady sense of danger. Gameplay stays true to the original's blend of first or third-person combat, exploration, resource scavenging, and settlement building, giving players the freedom to forge their own path, whether as a survivor, leader, or lone wanderer. What makes this edition stand out is its content. It includes the base game, plus all 6 major expansions, and over 150 items from the Creations catalog, ranging from new quests and weapons to extra settlement options and customization features. This makes every playthrough feel richer and more varied, especially for returning players who want something fresh. Lost Hellden stands out as one of the most intriguing upcoming RPGs for Nintendo Switch, presenting a world shaped by faith, destiny, and the burden of sin. Set for release sometime in 2026, the game takes place on Era, a land ruled by a religious system known as Unio, where every newborn is bound to one of the 7 deadly sins through a ritual. Those who fail to resist their assigned sin risk turning into monstrous beings, while those who endure are promised entry to the sacred realm called Hellden after death. The story follows 2 twins with an unusual fate, one cursed to carry all 7 sins, and the other born completely sinless. When the cursed twin escapes, the sinless one sets out on a quest to find him, opening the door to a narrative filled with moral conflict, secrets within the church, and philosophical themes about identity and redemption. The gameplay blends real-time action and strategy with a phased combat system. Players unleash attacks and skills during the action phase, then defend and react during the reaction phase as enemies counter. Customization appears deep, offering multiple jobs, equipment variations, and skill options to build unique party roles across several characters. Exploration features hand-painted style environments with dynamic weather and atmospheric visuals, designed to encourage discovery beyond battles.
You can move and change characters freely. Like in any action game, you can perform basic attacks or use abilities. During this phase, enemies react based on your actions but do not attack you. Therefore, you have plenty of time to adapt your pace to the situation.
Elden Ring Tarnished Edition is set to bring one of the most acclaimed RPGs of recent years to Nintendo Switch 2, aiming to deliver the full experience with added content and improvements. The launch has been delayed to 2026, giving developers more time to optimize performance on handheld hardware and ensure it lives up to the scale of the original. The story takes place in the haunting Lands Between, a vast realm fractured by betrayal and divine collapse after the Elden Ring was shattered. Players step into the role of a Tarnished, an exile called back to unravel the mysteries of this broken world, reclaim lost grace, and attempt to become the Elden Lord. The journey is filled with cryptic characters, moral choices, and lonely stretches of exploration that constantly tempt curiosity. Gameplay remains rooted in a challenging action RPG structure that rewards strategy, observation, and adaptability. You can travel on foot or ride Torrent, the spectral steed, exploring plains, swamps, ruins, and towering castles while shaping your character through weapons, spells, gear, and skills to define your playstyle. The Tarnished Edition includes the Shadow of the Erd Tree expansion, adding new territories, boss battles, and lore that expands each corner of the world.
I command thee now!
Witchbrook is shaping up to be one of the most charming and anticipated RPGs coming to Nintendo Switch, blending cozy life simulation with magical school adventures. Delayed to 2026, the game places you in Mossport, a seaside town filled with personality and seasonal atmosphere, where you arrive as a witch in training, ready to begin your life at a mystical academy. Classes are not just tutorials. They form the backbone of progression, teaching potion making, broom riding, alchemy, divination, and spellcasting as you grow from student to accomplished witch. Outside the classroom, the town becomes the heart of the experience. NPCs follow daily routines, events shape the community, and relationships develop organically. Social interactions allow for friendships and even romance, giving your choices weight as the world subtly reacts to them. The gameplay loop combines exploration, crafting, time management, and character development, encouraging players to experiment with magic while personalizing their home or cottage with decorations and items. Mossport's handcrafted aesthetic and dynamic weather make every visit feel inviting, while up to 4-player online co-op allows you and friends to explore together, fly on brooms, or discover secrets hidden across town. Yakuza Kiwami 3 and Dark Ties is shaping up to be a major release for Nintendo Switch 2, offering both a full remake of the original Yakuza 3 and an entirely new storyline that expands the series' universe. Launching on February 12, 2026, this edition brings Kazuma Kiryu's Okinawa chapter to life with modern visuals using the Dragon Engine, featuring refined animations, richer environments, and smoother combat. At its core, the game still follows Kiryu as he tries to leave the Yakuza life behind to protect the children of the orphanage he runs in Okinawa. But the challenges of his past and the criminal world inevitably pull him back in. Alongside the remake comes Dark Ties, a fresh narrative that shifts perspective to Yoshitaka Mine, one of the series' more complex antagonists. Playing from his point of view adds a darker tone and offers a new lens on loyalty and ambition within the underworld. Combat has been updated with enhanced hand-to-hand mechanics, skill trees, and Okinawa-inspired weapon styles, giving players more variety and room to evolve their playstyle. Kiryu's progression system now includes ability upgrades and even phone customization that influences gameplay. Meanwhile, Mine's route delivers a more aggressive combat approach, offering contrast and replay value. Mini-games and side activities return to keep the world feeling alive beyond the main story. The Adventures of Elliot, The Millennium Tales, is quickly becoming one of the most anticipated RPGs heading to Nintendo Switch 2, offering a blend of nostalgic visuals and modern action gameplay. Set to release sometime in 2026, the game takes place on the continent of Philibildia, where humanity has withdrawn to the walled kingdom of Huther to survive against beast tribes roaming beyond its borders. Players step into the role of Elliot, an adventurer accompanied by the fairy Faye, whose voice and presence play a central role in the narrative and exploration. Their expedition begins when ancient ruins are discovered outside the kingdom's walls, but it soon evolves into something far greater: the discovery of the Doorway of Time, a mysterious artifact that links eras and reveals secrets hidden across centuries. The journey becomes less about survival and more about understanding the truths buried in history. Gameplay shifts away from classic turn-based HD 2D traditions, embracing real-time combat with 7 weapon types, each offering distinct advantages and behaviors. Upgrades can be applied using magicite fragments, allowing players to tailor their combat style. Faye supports not just in battle, but in exploration, puzzle solving, and even co-op play, where a second player can control her directly.
Same time. You'll find that she's very helpful on your adventure. Join Elliot and Faye on a grand journey that, unknown to them, will span 1,000 years.
Ys Memoire, Revelations in Celceta, is one of the most promising action RPGs heading to Nintendo Switch, bringing a refreshed take on a classic entry from the Ys series. Set for release in early 2026, the game follows Adol Christin, who awakens in the wild land of Celceta with no memory of his past, only his name. Assigned by the Roman army to chart this vast, uncharted region, he teams up with Durin, a thief who claims to know him, and begins a journey that mixes exploration with personal rediscovery. As Adol travels through villages, forests, dungeons, and ruins, hints of his forgotten history emerge, tying his past to the fate of the land. Gameplay stays true to the Ys action RPG style, with fast, real-time combat and a tag team system that lets you switch between party members instantly to exploit enemy weaknesses and adapt your strategy. Exploration plays a major role too. Mapping Celceta's terrain gives a sense of adventure rarely seen in linear RPGs. The Switch release adds useful features, including a new arranged soundtrack alongside the original, enhanced visuals, and smoother performance. With its blend of mystery, combat variety, and atmospheric world-building, Ys Memoire Revelations in Celceta looks like a strong contender for fans seeking adrenaline-driven RPG action when it arrives in 2026. Octopath Traveler 0 is shaping up to be a standout RPG on Nintendo Switch, bringing a fresh approach to the series while keeping its classic charm intact. Set to release on December 4th, 2025, the game takes place once again in Orstera, but begins with a twist. Players create their own protagonist instead of choosing from predefined heroes. Your adventure starts in Wishvale, a town destroyed by fire, and the journey becomes both personal and expansive. You set out to rebuild your home while uncovering secrets tied to divine rings and the fate of the world itself. Instead of the traditional 8 heroes, the game allows recruitment of over 30 companions, forming a versatile cast with their own roles, personalities, and combat strengths. The signature turn-based break and boost combat returns, rewarding smart exploitation of enemy weaknesses and well-timed boosts to maximize damage or support actions. Battles can feature up to 8 active combatants, encouraging party strategy and flexible setups. Outside of combat, town restoration plays a central role. Placing buildings, farms, and facilities gradually brings Wishvale back to life, giving players a stronger sense of progression beyond leveling. The blend of exploration, rebuilding, and strategic battles offers both emotional stakes and mechanical depth.
Engage in new battles with parties of up to 8 characters.
We're in this together. Please and thank you!
Time to teach you a lesson. Witness a tale of beginnings that
Fire Emblem Fortune's Weave is positioned to be one of the most anticipated tactical RPGs coming to Nintendo Switch 2, aiming to blend classic strategy elements with fresh ideas. Scheduled for 2026, the game centers around the Heroic Games, a grand tournament organized by the mysterious Divine Sovereign, where warriors from various lands compete not just for glory, but for a single wish granted to the victor. The setup allows for a wide range of motivations. Some seek redemption, others power or revenge, giving the story a dramatic, competitive edge. Early characters include Kai, a determined spear fighter, and Theodora, a noble leading her own army, hinting at diverse playstyles and backgrounds. Gameplay stays true to the Fire Emblem formula with turn-based tactical battles on grid maps, emphasizing unit positioning, movement, and smart use of abilities. Returning mechanics like weapon durability add tension, while new features such as Blaze Arts offer high-risk, high-reward combat actions that consume HP for stronger effects. Classic classes like Myrmidon and Hunter are joined by new roles like Charioteer and Flying Rider, suggesting more tactical depth when building your roster.
It is imperative that I face it again. I must cull it with this blade. My full strength.
There's a man I hate so much that simply killing him will not satisfy me. For that reason,
Dragon Quest VII Reimagined is set to bring a refreshed take on a classic JRPG when it launches on February 5th, 2026, marking its return with updated visuals and modernized gameplay on Nintendo Switch and Switch 2. The adventure begins on the quiet island of Astard, where a simple life is interrupted by a mysterious map fragment that hints at forgotten lands. As the protagonist and his companions investigate, they uncover a way to travel into the past, revealing that many continents once existed but have since vanished from the present. By solving crises, lifting curses, and aiding civilizations in ancient times, players gradually restore these lands to the world of today, piecing together history with every success. The reimagined version keeps the turn-based combat at the heart of the series, but enhances it with new mechanics like let loose attacks for powerful bursts, visible enemies on the field to reduce random encounters, and revamped pacing to suit modern players. The class system has also evolved into the moonlighting feature, allowing 2 vocations at once for deeper customization. Visually, the game adopts a diorama-like style with expressive models and cleaner animations, giving its large-scale journey a renewed sense of life.
This is the stuff! You and me battling!
Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade is gearing up to be a major addition to the Nintendo Switch 2 lineup, bringing one of the most celebrated reimaginings in modern RPGs to a portable hybrid system. Set to release on January 22, 2026, this edition delivers the full remake of Cloud Strife's story in Midgar, while also including episode Intermission, the Yuffie-focused chapter that expands the narrative with new characters, missions, and insight into Shinra's operations. The game follows Cloud, a former soldier turned mercenary, as he joins the anti-Shinra group Avalanche and becomes entangled in a battle against corporate exploitation and deeper threats tied to the planet itself. Combat blends real-time action and tactical decision-making through the ATB system, allowing players to switch between characters, manage materia, trigger skills, and unleash limit breaks. Intergrade bundles bonus gear and summons, while offering a streamlined mode for those who want a smoother experience focused on story rather than challenge. On Switch 2, the port aims to maintain visual fidelity and stable performance despite its scale, targeting 30 frames per second in docked mode with upgraded lighting and textures. Having this level of cinematic presentation on handheld hardware makes Intergrade one of the most ambitious Switch titles to date.
No freaking way!
Boss!
Get wrecked!
Monster Hunter Stories 3: Twisted Reflection is shaping up to be a major RPG release for Switch 2, bringing a deeper narrative and expanded mechanics to the series' turn-based formula. Launching on March 13, 2026, it follows the heir of Azuria, the kingdom's only Rathalos rider, who must confront a mysterious disaster known as the Crystal Encroachment, a phenomenon slowly warping monster habitats and threatening the balance of nature. The core of the story revolves around the hatching of twin Rathalos from a single egg, a rare event that sparks rising tensions between the kingdoms of Azuria and Vermeil. As the rider, your mission becomes both personal and political, uncovering the truth behind the encroachment while forging bonds with monsties and navigating alliances that may shift as conflict grows. The game continues its turn-based battle system, focusing on strategy and synergy rather than fast action. A new feature called Synchro Rush allows party-wide coordinated attacks, encouraging smart combinations of rider skills and monstie abilities. Exploration has also evolved. Different monsties offer specific riding actions like flight or climbing, opening hidden paths and creating a stronger sense of discovery.
Don't push yourself. Let's do this!
Those are the top 15 most anticipated RPGs coming to Nintendo Switch and Switch 2. From classic remasters to brand new adventures, RPG fans have a lot to look forward to. Which game are you most excited for? Let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear what you're hoping to play. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to SwitchTop for more Nintendo coverage. Until next time.